everyone. We are so excited to have you all here today for the Bay Future Annual Meeting. My name is Megan Saman, and I'm the President and CEO of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, and I have the pleasure of serving as the 2024 Chair of the Board of Directors. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. We're here to celebrate the economic development successes that have happened in Bay County in 2023 and recognize the contributions of the companies who made it happen. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you all to please stand so we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, the rain stopped and the sun came out, so what a beautiful day in Bay County. Our meeting today will include 2023 highlights, and we'll hear more about the continued growth and progress of major investments that will continue along with our mission to work to make Bay County a better place to live, work, and play. We'd like to thank the elected officials who are here today. We appreciate your support and partnership, along with all of our other Bay Future investors. We would like to recognize a few Bay Future board members who are leaving our board of directors. And so as you see your names, if you could please come up. We have Mike Debo from Thumb Bank and Trust, Don Scherzer, Spicer Group, and Kristen Wenzel, Great Lakes Bay, Michigan Works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll send your awards later. Thank you. These three individuals have served on our board of directors for 2 3-year terms and have contributed to the success of our organization and the support of economic development in Bay County. I would also like to ask my fellow Bay Future board members to please stand to be recognized. Your time, your support, your commitment to the growth of the community has been unwavering, and we appreciate all that our Bay Future board does. Please stand. There's one more board member, excuse me, who I'd like to recognize. If I could please invite Rob Clark to come to the stage. Rob is the Senior Director of Communications and Community Relations at Michigan Sugar and served as the 2023 Chairman of the Board of Directors.
What are we looking at?
Right here.
All right. Got it?
Yes.
Am I up?
Yep. Thank you for your
All right. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing today? You know, I think about this a lot, but how many communities do you know where if someone said, who leads the Pledge of Allegiance in your community, that you know the answer to that question? It's Chris Gerard. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Thank you, Megan. I want to thank everyone for being here today and for being part of what I believe is an absolutely exceptional organization aimed at growing our community. I'm excited to celebrate with you today some of the many economic development accomplishments of the past year. Before we do that, I want to personally echo Megan's thanks to our elected officials, whose partnership and support has been a key ingredient in helping Bay Future drive Bay County forward. To the Bay Future Executive Committee and the full Board of Directors, thank you for your unwavering support this past year. It was an honor to serve as Bay Future Chair, to represent this organization in our community, and to work alongside such a talented group of individuals. As a team, we accomplished great things and have set the stage for an even brighter future. As we continue to help businesses grow, attract new investment, and most importantly, build relationships inside and outside of our community that help move the needle in positive directions for all those involved. Last, I want to say a special thank you to our investors. You are the engine that drives Bay Future. And without you, none of what we do at Bay Future is possible. Your commitment and involvement is appreciated and respected. And frankly, it's the reason we're able to do what we do every day. We've seen a lot of great success over the past 20 years. We know there are wonderful things on the horizon, and we want you to know that we are laying the groundwork for Bay Future to become an even stronger organization in the years ahead. I speak for the entire board of directors in saying thank you, and I look forward to your continued support in the years ahead. Please give our investors a big round of applause. Now I'd ask that you please turn your attention to the screens. We'll have the opportunity to watch a highlight video for 2003 produced by our great friends at ImageWorks.
This is a place of why not? Why can't it happen here? We have the right talent, we have the right people, we have the right universities. It's all sitting here waiting for us to just capture and harness.
Tri-City Brewing has been in business for 17 years. All the craft beer here, we make ourselves in this building. We are Bay City's hometown brewery. We really saw an opportunity to expand our seating area and make it available for private events. You come in here, you have 2 rooms that can accommodate about 80 people, and the really unique thing is you can bring in your own food, or you can arrange for catering from us. It's really a nice way for you to celebrate a special event here at a reasonable cost.
And this is exactly where Bay Future works with other organizations when you look at the Bangor DDA.
This is Bangor DDA territory, and they provide us with a really nice grant that really helped us with the garage doors. I mean, we can't navigate that on our own as business owners, but to have that support, to lift that off our shoulders, it allows me to focus on my business.
Business owners are good at running their business. A lot of times the other things taking up too much time, and it keeps us from growing. Bay Future allows you that growth.
You've got your work, you've got your home, and then you've got that third place, fits with you. It's part of the community, and you just enjoy being here. Tri-City Brewing, your destination private event space.
When you start to look at the tentacles of just townships, when you get out into Monitor Township or you get out into Bangor Township, all of those places have seen or they have felt Bay Future in their backyard.
When it comes to economic development, we reach out to Bay Future, and they are our economic development department, and they allow us to do fabulous things and see great growth and bring in companies that we probably wouldn't have that opportunity otherwise.
Vantage started in 1996, the fall of '96.
Started as a custom thermoformer, has expanded into recycling, extrusion. Right behind us is injection molding. That's the last addition that kind of came with this building.
One of the things that's amazing with this is using the state-of-the-art technology with this group, and what they are doing, it's simply amazing.
We do a lot of amazing things here. Unique, innovative things that we're the only ones in the world that do.
We do about 1 million plastic kiddie pools every year. We do our own line of hunting blinds, quite a few different thermoform products, including automotive dunnage and packaging. We were starting to fill the current business. The building was getting full. While we were looking, I saw this building.
So we took an old building that hasn't been anything but vacant and ugly for a long, long time, and this is now going to be more Vantage Plastics, employing a lot of people, creating a fabulous tax base, and doing a lot of great things. This is where their growth is going to happen. And it's right here in beautiful Bangor Township.
Support from the township, from Bay Future, MEDC, all of these local entities has been just really fantastic. I'm not even sure if this would have happened without Bay Future's involvement. I mean, they were instrumental in driving this and pulling all of the different pieces back together.
A lot of what they helped with was the incentive package, navigating the tax breaks. They helped get us training money because we have all new people.
We're up to 430 employees, I think, as of last week, and we're going to need more. Our mission is forming solutions, forming better lives, forming sustainable futures. What new innovative approach can we come up with to get something done or to bring something new into the community? And I think Bay Future, that's their approach to things.
This is another great example of opportunity within our community and working with Bay Future. Bay Carbon, they have added on to their facilities. They have had so much demand come back to them that they came to Bay Future and asked, where can we build out? Where do we have it? And when they came to us, we said, hey, there is an opportunity to go to MEDC and go to some of these other places to find funding and find land that is ready for you to do that. You go over on the west side where you have a building that was a medical building for years, not really being utilized within that community, and then you take a revitalization such as that and you bring back affordable space for small entrepreneurs to use. You bring back little eateries, you bring back an environment that is more vibrant in there. It actually impacts that corner that it sits on, which is right across the street from our beautiful library. So it's perfect for that setting.
We get to see a finished product and we get excited and we cut ribbons and we jump up and down and we raise a toast. We don't see all of the countless hours that went into making that possible.
Your investment dollars and sponsorship into Bay Future helps make that happen. Be a marketer of ours. Go out there and tell the story. Tell other people who are looking to invest or ask about why would you invest in Bay Future. Take them around your plant that you built because the land was ready for you. Take a drive down US 10 and show two big places that are because of what this organization provides. And when those people can get out and tell their stories, the stories make such a positive impact to other investors and other people who want to be in the community.
Again, a huge thanks to ImageWorks for producing this year's video. Now, if that doesn't get you excited about economic development and how it is transforming this community, I'm not sure what will. It is now my honor to recognize those companies and their leaders who invested in Bay County in 2023 through business growth projects. We appreciate their capital financial investment, their dedication to our community, and the impact they are having on creating jobs to increase opportunities for individuals and families throughout our community. Bay Carbon. Future Technologies. General Motors Propulsion Systems. Mersen USA. North Point Development. Tri-City Brewing. Uptown Drive Development, LLC. And Vantage Plastics. Two other award recipients could not be with us today, Goujon Brothers and Woodworth Commercial. Let's give them a round of applause. Once again, if you could, please join me in celebrating these companies and their investments of nearly $350 million in Bay County. And now I'd like to turn things over to my friend Lynn Hebert, IT Leader, Business Readiness at Dow, and Chairwoman-elect of the Bay Future Board of Directors. Lynn?
Thanks.
This goes to 2 pages.
Okay, great, thanks. I think I'm a little bit shorter than Rob. All right. Hi, all. As we look forward into the future and the amazing things happening in Bay County, it's now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Neil Junke, President and CEO of Michigan Sugar Company. A native to North Dakota, Neil joined Michigan Sugar Company in April 2023, continuing a career in the agribusiness sector that stretches back to 1990, when he went to work for American Crystal Sugar Company in Moorhead, Minnesota. He spent 15 years there, working his way up to become Ag Operations Manager, at which time he was responsible for the harvest, storage, and transportation of the company's sugar beet crop and served as the company's executive operating committee. After leaving American Crystal in 2005, Neil was instrumental in founding and the development of the North Star Agri Industries, where he led development and construction of the successful canola processing and refining plant in Halleck, Minnesota. He later became the president and chief operating officer, overseeing the processing of more than 400 tons of canola seed annually into canola oil and canola meal. More recently, Neil served as vice president of manufacturing operations in Fargo, North Dakota-based Red River Commodities Incorporated, a food processing company which had 4 divisions, including well-known SunButter LLC, and 7 factories spread across Kansas, North Dakota, and Texas. During his time there, he led a strategic operations initiative improving the company's safety, capital deployment, plant maintenance, and production management processes. Since joining Michigan Sugar, Neil has focused on resetting the company's foundation and putting it on a path of future success. That has included bringing several new faces to the company's leadership, raising the bar of excellence in factory operations, establishing a new high standards for sugar beet harvest and permanent piling, and securing a path to completion of Michigan Sugar's molasses desugarization facility, scheduled to come online very soon in Bay City. Neil and his wife Heidi have 4 adult children, Aaron, David, Daniel, and Hannah, as well as 4 grandchildren. I'm sure you're very proud of them. Please join me in welcoming Michigan Sugar Company President and CEO, Neil Junke.
Well, it's great to be here. I've been with Michigan Sugar for 54 weeks now. This week is Tool Shed Week, where we meet with all 800 of our shareholder owners, most of them anyway. We have 2 meetings yesterday out in western Gratiot County and down by Frankenmuth, and 4 more meetings tomorrow and Friday. And it's a very energizing set of meetings. We get direct communication with our shareholder owners, and it just couldn't be any better. I'm very proud to be here. I want to highlight, this is our brand. We're Michigan Sugar, but Pioneer Sugar is our brand. Very proud of that. That's one you should pick up anytime you see the red one in the store, grab it. So before I begin my comments about the molasses plant, I thought you might all appreciate a perspective from a newcomer. A year ago, I moved from Hawley, Minnesota. It's a small town, half an hour east of Fargo-Moorhead. And for those of you that love the movie Fargo, it was actually filmed in Brainerd, Minnesota. We're not like that in Fargo. It's a Minnesota thing. And so being a newcomer here, I have some maybe different perspectives and that I'd like to share with you. We call Minnesota, there's a saying there, Minnesota nice, that everybody's so nice in Minnesota, but Michigan has them beat. You folks in the community here, as we've gotten to know folks and worked with contractors, bought a house in Freeland, and gotten to know people, this is a really friendly community. Down to the point where if you just got one item and you're at a Meijer store, somebody might say, well, why don't you go ahead of me? Complete stranger, paying it forward. There's just a whole lot of little ways that this community is very friendly, very welcoming, and I appreciate that. When I travel around the state and somebody says, well, where are you from? I say Bay City. And they say, oh, that's a fun spot. So we're known for being fun. That's a good thing. I was at the MABA conference up at Mackinac Island, and we had a fairly famous economist from Western Michigan University talking about the economy and what's going on. And he was just singing the praises of Western Michigan and how it's growing, and Eastern Michigan counties are declining in population. Well, let's take that as a challenge, because I don't see anything in Holland or Grand Rapids or anywhere over there that has us beat. So let's take that as a challenge and step up to the plate in every way that we can as the eastern side of the state. I'm rooting for us. Another thing I'd like to mention is I've been single-handedly responsible for raising the population of Bay County. My wife and I moved here, bought a house in Freeland. When my mother found out I was moving to Michigan, she said, I'm coming with. So we are doing the family health care situation in the house there. She lives independently, but we built a mother-in-law quarters, so she's living there. And my father-in-law, my wife's dad, was also a widower, and he came along as well. So we have all of that going on in Freeland. But there's folks sitting here too. Randy and Sean came across from Minnesota with experience in sugar processing technology. Dan Gowan came over from Fargo, North Dakota. Monty Ackerman came from Minneapolis. So I've imported at least half a dozen people with me. And once again, when I talk to them about what it's like here, very similar comments about how friendly the community is. So take that, give yourselves a round of applause. I want to mention, give some accolades. You all know Rob very well. Rob, a few months ago, was promoted within Michigan Sugar. He is the Senior Director of Communications and Community Relations. And Rob is stepping up to the executive level. He's participating in board meetings, and he is taking a strategic role in our communications to our shareholders and our employees and helping us guide the company. So congratulations, Rob, on that. Well-deserved promotion. And in association with that, in order to provide Rob the bandwidth to step into that new role, we've brought Tyler Kring back to the community. He's a Midland native, or the region, Cadillac. You grew up in Cadillac, but you were with the Loons for quite a while, and Tyler Kring has taken over Rob's role as community relations. So he's going to be networking and interacting with the community on behalf of Michigan Sugar. So thank you, Tyler. So we got something to get you fired up with to start with. So let's go ahead and roll the tape.
A dawn of a new day. Rising ahead of the rest. We are the grit behind the grow, heart behind the harvest, tough behind the toe, love behind the labor. Generations of grower owners, co-workers, and community. And the smiles behind the sweet. Together we are Michigan Sugar.
I love that video. And you know why? Is it focuses on the people. No company can be good or even great, let alone great, without great people. And the sugar beet industry is especially challenging. We grow a crop underground, we harvest it, it comes in with dirt and rocks and sticks. So the front end of the factories is a lot like a mining operation. The back end of the factories, we're producing what you have on the table. So we go from a very challenging environment. The processing plants are huge, they're old, they require a lot of labor. There's a lot of hard jobs out in those factories. And I really appreciate everybody that puts their shoulder to the wheel. So I'm here to highlight, tell you a little bit more about Michigan Sugar. We are one of the oldest sugar companies in existence in North America, founded in 1906. We became a grower-owned cooperative in 2002. And in 2004, the Monitor Sugar Factory, which is here in Bay City, also merged. Their parent company sold that factory to the cooperative. So 100% of Michigan Sugar's business is owned by farmers. 850 farmers, farm families, all throughout the thumb of Michigan and as far west and beyond Breckenridge, Michigan. So we have, we're the largest employer in 3 counties, the second largest in a 4th, and have a huge economic impact on the region. There's other impacts on the region too as well. Our company footprint, uptown Bay City, factories in Bay City, Caro, Croswell, and Sebewaing. P&W, we have several facilities, Bay City, Bridgeport, Carrollton, Findlay, and Fremont, Ohio, as well as ag research in Monitor Township and piling stations, 11 plus at each factory. Facts and figures, this is a bit repetitive. I mentioned 865 shareholders, 142,000 acres of sugar beets, 1.2 billion pounds, soon going to 1.3 billion pounds of sugar annually, 1,000 year-round employees and 1,100 seasonal. Annual wages paid over $75 million and direct economic impact of $600 million. This last campaign, we processed 4.2 million tons of beets, and it took us 216 days to do that. We set 13 new records during campaign, and we produced 1.1 billion pounds. Campaign end date, April 9th. So we just wrapped up. The MDS project, this is where Bay Future comes in. Bay Future was instrumental in helping us get this project off the ground. MDS stands for molasses desugaring. It's the biggest technological advancement in the sugar industry in 50 years. What we use is resin, small resin beads that used to be produced out in the Dow factory here in Midland, and maybe still are. We pass diluted molasses through the resin, and it separates the sugar from other compounds. So in the sugar industry, our primary product is this, white table sugar. We traditionally would produce molasses and pulp. The pulp is a cattle feed ingredient, and until recently, molasses was primarily sold to cattle feeders as well. Well, what the cattle feeders were really after is everything in the molasses other than the sugar. There's lots of proteins and valuable compounds for a cattle diet, a ration. This technology, molasses desugaring, allows us to take the sugar out and still sell the byproduct to the cattle feed industry. We also are able to extract a product called betaine, which is a high value amino acid that actually goes into cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, and CSB, some of which is used for road de-icing, as well as sold into the cattle feed industry. So this project enables us to produce an additional 80 million pounds of sugar from the beets that we already grow. So we don't need to grow a single additional acre of sugar beets to produce more sugar. It has a huge sustainability impact on our industry. We'll process 650 tons per day of molasses. That will collect all the molasses produced from our 4 factories, and will be 100% processing capacity for that molasses. It has a beet payment impact. We measure everything in terms of the beet payment, how many dollars we pay per ton of beets, of $18.77 million over a 10-year forecast. That's the average annual impact. So a very big economic impact and boost to the industry. We announced the project in August of 21. We were the general contractor. Pumford Construction was our civil structural contractor. Groundbreaking happened in June of 22. In the fall of 2022, Pumford were working on the foundations and civil and structural work. November 2022, we utilized the Saginaw River to bring the equipment, the processing equipment, which was fabricated internationally, right into the dock here down the river. In the winter there, we were setting that equipment, and these big stainless steel tanks you see there, those tanks contain that resin. and the molasses is distributed and passed through those tanks. Spring of '23, we were erecting structural steel and doing more civil work. In the summer of 2023, the building is being enclosed, and you see that the top of those separator tanks, each of those pipes that looks like a spider's web, those are called fractal distributors, and that sends the molasses through the bed of resin in an equal fashion. Fall of 2023, electrical and mechanical construction. And moving on in winter of '24, we were setting pumps, putting in valves, completing the construction. In the spring, testing out, commissioning, and we'll be starting this plant up next month in May 15th. We plan a ribbon cutting later this summer in August. I want to make a shout out to regional contractors who helped us get this done. This project, we had 160,000 hours of safe work. Not a single injury amongst that crew. Now, I already mentioned Pumford Construction, civil and structural. We had MAP Mechanical on site, Sanford, Michigan-based company. County Line Electrical did a great job for us. Who am I forgetting, Nick? Dobson Industrial helped out. Conti on the fire protection systems. This team of contractors really came together and did a great job. So MDS by the numbers, 22,000 square feet. You can read the numbers there, 33,000 tons in extract tank, 3,000 feet of fiber for the network, miles and miles of piping, 10 miles. As we've tested these systems out of 1,400 valves, we only had one that didn't operate properly. We only had 3 flanges that need to be tightened up for water leaks. These contractors did a great job for us, and we're excited to be starting this plant up. So there it is, in all its glory, the MDS plant. It's been a work in progress for 3 years. Thank you for your support, Bay Future, and here we go.
We're going to end today with a little Q&A, so you can get to know Neil a little better, and he can talk a little bit more about some of the things going on at Michigan Sugar. So as Neil said, you've been in Michigan now for a little over a year and 2 weeks, and actually, Neil attended last year's Bay Future annual meeting. I think it was your first week. So that's when you started meeting people. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and how you found your way to Michigan Sugar.
Well, I was born and raised in North Dakota, under the shadow of a glacier, so winter is my friend. Went to NDSU. I'm a mechanical engineer and a Bison fan. If you know the Bison, it's on, horns up, horns up. Absolutely, we got a pretty good football team over there. 4 kids, married to my wife Heidi for 36 years, going on 37. And interestingly enough, 2 of them own breweries, 2 of my boys, one in Fargo, North Dakota, and one in Asheville, North Carolina. 4 grandkids and a 5th one on the way, and we just love Michigan.
And your daughter lives overseas.
Yeah. My daughter, Hannah, lives in Duisburg, Germany, just outside of Dusseldorf. And she is the most recent mother.
Very good. So when you arrived at Michigan Sugar, your first week on the job, as you mentioned, was heading out to tool shed meetings to meet our growers. You met hundreds of growers, like day one. What were your first impressions of Michigan Sugar, and what have you learned about the company during your first year?
Well, I love the engagement. There's no better group of people to work for than a bunch of farmers. They put their pants on one leg at a time, and most often they're blue jeans. So they're very practical people, they're very engaged people, and we just really love the business model, the co-op business model. So I found out how engaged they were on day one. They were eager to share some of the challenge points that we have at Michigan Sugar, and we certainly do. As I've learned about the company, it's been a little bit like taking a drink from a fire hose. We've got some great people and great strengths at Michigan Sugar. We have some natural advantages here as a sugar company that nobody can replicate. We have the best growing season for sugar beets. We have excellent freight and logistics. We're the closest to the market. So we really should be the best, the premier sugar company in North America. The challenges we've had have been largely related to people. COVID was really tough on Michigan Sugar. We had a demographic of a lot of baby boomers in our factories that retired, and we had a real hard time replacing them during COVID. And we didn't have formalized training programs, so a lot of knowledge walked out of the doors of the factories, and the factory performance suffered. So as we put the wheels back on the bus, those are the focus areas, is to reestablish those training programs, re-engage young people into the factories, and reestablish operations excellence.
So as we talk about your first year here, a lot of times we hear the phrase resetting the foundation, but there's another phrase that we've sort of adopted around Michigan Sugar, and it's called Good to Great. And it's an initiative that you launched shortly after you got here. And for anyone out in the audience who was a guest at our annual meeting, you might have heard a little bit more about Good to Great, but if you could just share a little bit about what that means and how it relates to Michigan Sugar.
Absolutely, Rob. We sort of fell into it as we were preparing for a strategic offsite. The executive team and the director level leaders in the company spent a day evaluating the health of the company. What are we good at? What are we not so good at? What do we need to improve? And during the course of that session, we kept using the phrase good to great. And our facilitator said, you know, that's a great management book. And I said, you know, I think I read that 20 years ago. It's a book by Jim Collins, and it's become an iconic business manual, and it just fit us perfectly. We really are a good company. We want to be great. And so what do? What do companies do to make that journey? Well, you focus on your core business. You figure out what you're really good at. You get the right people on the team, and you move forward in a very focused fashion. So Good to Great has become a bit of a rallying call around the company. And there's 3 tables of people here that are all engaged in that challenge. The people that make the sugar, the people that sell the sugar, the people that count the sugar, and people that buy our materials. They're all right here, and we're very proud of them. Great team that we have at Michigan Sugar. Absolutely.
So as we talk a little bit more about the molasses desugarization facility, that facility is scheduled to come online starting in less than a month now. May 15th is our startup goal. And I'm wondering if you could talk about how this facility puts us in terms of the other sugar companies in the country. Is it similar technology that they have? You know, where does this put us in the landscape of that? Are other companies using this technology, and how do we rank now?
Well, over the last 25 years, molasses desugaring technology has become pretty standard in other sugar beet companies. I think all of the 4 companies, 5, 6 cooperatives, all have at least one plant. Ours is Generation 4 technology, so it'll be more reliable and more highly productive. It'll get better separation of the components. But most importantly, it will set us up to be able to process 100% of our molasses, and that'll be industry leading. None of the other companies can process 100% of their own molasses.
And as part of this project, we also had to install equipment in some of our other factories as well. I know in Caro and Seawood.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
In order for this resin to function properly, the molasses has to be softened, which means all the minerals have to be removed from it. Otherwise, the resin will be fouled and become ineffective. So we installed juice softening systems in the other 3 factories to demineralize the juice, which actually has a benefit in the sugar end of the factory. It prevents scale from forming on the evaporators. And by demineralizing the juice, the molasses that's produced is demineralized and can go directly into the molasses plant to be desugared.
So one of the things and you've probably heard me talk about this when we talk about the MDS facility, is it's really a great sustainability story. You mentioned it in your remarks earlier. This facility will allow us to produce 80 million more pounds of sugar annually without planting another acre of sugar beets. Talk a little bit about why that component of this is important, Neil.
Well, our customers, like many of yours, are wanting to see sustainability improvements. We want to see sustainability improvements. Think about all the trips across the field that are avoided. We don't have to plant any more beets. We don't have to spray any more beets. We don't have to harvest. We don't have to have those beet trucks clogging up the roads in the fall to produce 20 million more bags. That's a 4-pound bag of sugar. 20 million more. That would fill this room of sugar that we can produce without any more activity on the farm.
Absolutely. And we do need to say again that Bay Future played a very significant role in helping get this project off the ground. We thank them. They even had a role in helping us plan the groundbreaking ceremony back in 2021, which many of you were probably there. We're hoping to do another ceremony in August once we get the facility up and running, so we'll be sure to get invites out for that. Let's switch gears just a little bit. You mentioned that our current or our most recent campaign has wrapped up. We sliced our final beets on April 9th. So what happens now at the factories? They just shut down and everyone goes home for the summer?
Far from it. Yeah, it's a summer break.
Yeah, what do the next couple months look like at Michigan Sugar, other than getting the MDS facility online?
Well, our MDS plant runs year-round. We will be crystallizing sugar from MDS at Bay City nearly year-round. But most importantly, we take the opportunity to do repair and maintenance on the beet end of our factories and sugar end. The sugar business is very difficult on equipment. There's dirt and sand and rocks that come in with the beets. There's a lot of wear and tear. And so we literally tear the factories apart and rebuild them, get them prepared to start up again in the fall. Our packaging and warehousing facilities continue to package and produce and ship sugar all year round. So P&W for those folks is pretty much business as usual.
Absolutely. I'm always intrigued when you come to a chamber event or an economic development event and there's businesses being honored like we did today for their expansions. I think many people in this room would be surprised that every year we're investing millions and millions of dollars to keep our factories in tip-top shape. It's really quite a commitment from our grower owners. Neil mentioned earlier, and you maybe saw a couple of dates of when our factories were built, 1899 to 1902. The Caro factory is the oldest sugar beet processing factory in the United States. So these factories have old bones, but they're filled with modern technology inside. And that takes continual investment from our shareholders, from our owners.
Nick, what's our annual R&M budget?
$40 million.
$40 million a year we spend in the factories. CapEx budget's $12 to $18 million depending on the year. And this project required $109 million to complete. So it's a big business.
Yep, absolutely. So last question here. One campaign has ended and another begins just simultaneously. This is happening. If you are out and about, especially in the Thumb area over the next several weeks, you'll likely see sugar beet seeds being planted. We are indeed starting another growing season, and talk a little bit about that and what we're expecting this year.
Yeah, the sugar beets were growing before we finished processing last year's crop. So we're about 20% planted. We have about 26,000 acres in the ground. They've already sprouted, and that part of the crop looks excellent. So we're looking forward to another good year. Sugar market prices are good, and so could be another prosperous year for Michigan sugar beet growers.
Absolutely. And if you could take one thing out of here today as a little action item, just pray for Mother Nature and cooperate with the sugar beet crop, not only during the summer and the fall when we harvest beets, but in the winter. We just came off one of you guys probably loved it, one of the greatest winters for you guys. Yeah. Terrible if you're a sugar beet. We had 13 days above average or below average temperatures this year between December and February. That wreaks havoc on sugar beets. So when it's 75 degrees in February and you're smiling and you say hi to me and I say, that's why. That's why. Well, Neil, thank you so much. We appreciate your time today. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, you just reminded me of something that is distinctive of this community as well that I really appreciate. We say the Pledge of Allegiance and we pray before meals. It's awesome. We do that on our grower meetings too. And I think that's a very foundational aspect of that we should be very proud of and hold on to.
Awesome. Neil, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you.
All right. To wrap up our meeting today, please welcome to the podium Jim Reum, Economic Development Manager for Bay Future Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Before I get to my prepared remarks, I want to give a special thank you to Megan Saman, the President and CEO of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, who has been an incredible mentor and guide for me these last few months, and it really means a lot, and I'd really like a round of applause for Megan, please. So a big thank you to Neil Junkie and Rob Clark. We really appreciate your insight, your time, and your investment in our community. It is also my pleasure to formally recognize and thank the Bay Future Drive Forward investors who make the work we do each and every day possible. All of us working together to keep our community growing and thriving is the secret to our success. Without the support of private sector businesses, public sector municipalities, our friends in labor, along with our resource partners, Bay Future would not have the tools that we need to carry out our mission. Our focus is facilitating economic development strategies that promote and secure opportunities for business retention and business growth. Also, the attraction of new industries that create quality jobs for our community's residents. It's a very heartfelt, personal and professional thank you to all of our municipal partners who don't get enough credit for the work that they do on each and every project. Thank you very much, and we look forward to driving additional economic growth forward with your partnership. On behalf of the Bay Future Board of Directors, I would like to thank our 2023 Annual Report Meeting Committee, our 2023 Annual Report Meeting sponsor, Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, and a special thanks to ImageWorks for the creation of the wonderful featured videos that you've enjoyed this afternoon. 2023 has been an absolutely banner year, a monumental step in driving Bay County forward. Since 2020, we've had the privilege of supporting over $930 million in investment with over 875 jobs created, far exceeding the $500 million and 800 job goal that was set, and we still have 1 year to go on our strategic plan. The real heroes in all this are the businesses who make it happen. We are grateful to be part of a team alongside of our local, state, and federal partners who we work with to accomplish the goal of improving the economic climate in Bay County. With that, I want to thank you for your attendance and for your support of these efforts. I hope you learned something, I hope you enjoyed the meeting, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you all.